Yo, your cortisol's looking a little low. Your cortisol's looking a little low. Wait, or is it supposed to be high? I don't fucking know. I'm too old to be saying shit like that, to be honest. I do the funny little dance, though. People like it when I do the funny little dance. Does that count? Does it count if I do the funny little dance? Alright, regardless. Hello, everybody. What's popping? Let me see. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Live chat me. Live chat me. Slide. Slide. There we go, there we go, there we go. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Get next song. Next song. Next song. That kind of works. What's poppin'? How's everybody been? We're back again today with our... Damn, what a fucking beat, dude. Hell yeah. This sounds like a My Little Pony song. How am I doing? Hello, Matilda. Hello, Karin. What's up, what's up? I'm doing okay. My canker sore is going down, finally. Which means I can finally, stop complaining about one thing in my life. I can finally stop complaining about one thing in my life. Today, though, we are back again with some sussy rain. The rain, you know, I mean, if rain was so sus, if rain was so good, why isn't it sus? Not like, I guess I'm not expecting an answer out of that, but... Would you guzzle gentleman's relish? Hello, Michael, what's up? Hey, Cherry? Hey, Soviet, how's it going? Soviet, are you in the Discord, by the way? I've started doing, in an expression of my, undying, revolutionary spirit, we will be doing, political analysis on Sundays now. And, the articles for that analysis are going to be posted in the Discord. We're back again. We are playing Theocratic Door in Rizia, I believe. I don't remember what turn we were on. What turn did that say? I wasn't paying attention. Fuck. Fuck. I guess I could take public transportation on time performance downward. That doesn't seem like anything I can do anything about. Turn 6, I think? I think we're turn 6? Yeah, I remember building the Valanquir Heavy Industry Park, as well as the Addiction Treatment Center. So, we have start decrease we have to get out of the way. I'm not forcing you to read. Okay, it's gonna be really awkward for you to just sit there and I guess. Is it that Find the Difference horror game? This game? Millions of Rizians head to the polls. Across the country, polling stations have opened as our fellow citizens head to the polls to fulfill their duty and confirm their support for King Rama's Taurus by electing a new House of Delegates. No, this is a political visual novel. We congratulate the Electoral Commission for organizing a smooth voting process. RNC leader Daria Darava has already cast her vote among large media attention in Port Jazan. Results are not expected until later tonight, but Royal Herald editors will work dutifully through the night to provide a comprehensive morning edition full of the latest results. Joking. I can't understand sarcasm, because I'm actually stupid. Let me read all these, and then we can make our turn decrees. Concern about the vineyard increases as gold mine opens. While the first trucks leaving the newly opened Callus gold mine filled to the brim with unrefined gold ore, concern grows about the impact of mining operations to the local wine industry. While many in Valanqueers welcomed the new jobs created by the opening of the mine, others reiterated previous worries that wastewater from the mine could affect neighboring vineyards. Your mom. Hello, Regine. Plava Arch Sanctuary has been restored. One of the kingdom's most sacred landmarks to its former glory. The Golden Dome, now fully restored, once again shines over the city, welcoming both Rushist and Galkandis pilgrims. A grand rededication ceremony was held, attended by religious leaders, scholars, and members of the crown. The sanctuary's archives, containing priceless religious texts, were also carefully restored, ensuring continued study and spiritual enlightenment for visitors. While its renewed splendor, the Arch Sanctuary is poised to become an even greater destination for worship and pilgrimage. Right there in the middle of fucking Cardes Monteclar, huh? Hundreds of miners now enter a new pit. Whoa. After a small ceremony, hundreds of miners descended into the freshly dug Havas coal mine. Finally got an extra +1. Embarking on a mission to unearth the vast reserves of coal discovered underneath the town. Expansion of the Grand Sanctuary has been completed, and Salabis has officially reopened, welcoming worshippers from across the kingdom. The new additions allow for larger gatherings with expanded prayer halls and newly decorated ceremonial rooms that reflect the rich artistic traditions of Das Nuredi. The reopening of the sanctuary was marked by a grand ceremony attended by religious leaders, local dignitaries, and pilgrims. Oh, administrative expansions. Finally! Oh, 13 authority goes crazy, dude. The government's expansion project in Bronaz was completed, creating a newly streamlined administrative center for the region. The reorganization consolidates previously overlapping departments, improving efficiency while maintaining public service. Look at us, dude. Modernized government in Port Drazon as well. Ooh, Pale says something. Pale Stream ready to open. The oil and gas pipeline connecting Pales directly with Port Drazon has finished construction. Heads of state from both Pales and Rizia are expected to meet later this week to officially open the pipeline. Alright, so before we do anything, we have some decrees to start with. Health and education funding is one of them. Which I think is a welfare one. Increase health and education funding. An augmentation of the national budget allocation for health and education is declared through this decree. The increase in funding will prioritize advancements in public health services, medical research, and the enhancement of educational facilities and curricula. By investing in the cornerstones of a robust society, its health and education systems, the state pledges to foster a healthier, well-informed, and skilled population, which is indispensable for sustained national development. Ooh. Only Ignatius seems happy about this. -3 budget per turn is crazy, dude. Oh my god! Hey Arthur, what's up? Housing for the poor, huh? I imagine that's also a welfare one. Residence? Permanent work visas. Housing for the poor initiative. A new ambitious housing program aims to support the kingdom's homeless and those facing severe financial hardship. By ensuring housing for every citizen, the state reinforces its focus on unity, prosperity, and social harmony. This initiative is expected to strengthen public trust and promote stability across the nation. Some people are not happy with this, but we're getting a lot of injections for standard of living. I'll tell you that much. Damn. The Ramos Torres Hospital, I believe, is a construction. That's a pretty early one, usually. Usually that's the first one I make, but... The kingdom greenlights the foundation of the Port Drazon Ramos Torres Hospital. With cutting-edge medical amenities and dedicated research zones, this institution vows to provide unparalleled healthcare to Rizians. Furthermore, it stands ready to serve as a pivotal medical base for wounded military personnel, reinforcing the nation's defensive capabilities. That gives me manpower per turn. Wow, wow, wooey, wow. Wow, wow, wooey, wow. And of course, a medium energy sale. Medium third global energy sale. I cannot do a medium energy sale. I just don't have any energy. I'm supposed to apparently have 4 energy at this point, but I have 2. Sure, dude. Whatever. We'll see how it goes. Alright, we did a huge welfare investment. Let's see. What do they got to say? Royal decree drastically increases welfare funding. The king has approved a new decree allocating additional funds to bolster the state's healthcare and education systems. A portion of these funds has also been dedicated to advancing medical research with the aim of eradicating more devastating diseases and ensuring a healthier future. This decisive action... Let me clean my glasses, I can't see anything. Bye, Matilda. I figured. Oh. This decisive action reflects the Crown's dedication to improving the lives of the Rizian people. Citizens are reminded of their shared duty to show loyalty and support for the monarchy as it works to secure a brighter future for all. Soon the thousands of homeless people living on the streets of Rizia cities, showing an ugly side to our great kingdom, will be history. The Crown is setting out an ambitious program to guarantee housing to everyone, with dwellings to be provided by the state to anyone who is homeless or otherwise unable to afford a roof above their heads. For low-income families, a program of subsidies is also initiated, allowing the state to cover up 50% of the individual's housing costs in special circumstances. This cements the monarchy's dedication to securing a dignified living situation for all. New hospital being built on behalf of our king. The construction of a new hospital in the center of Port Jazan is proving to be yet another example of King Rames's dedication to the health and well-being of the people. Thus, it's only fair that the new hospital will bear his name when completed. The state-of-the-art medical facilities will host a variety of specialists, and research labs in the hospital will enable the newest technological developments to be delivered to our people directly. Aside from civilian facilities, the hospital will also feature a large military wing to serve our armed forces. A new fleet of evacuation helicopters to quickly transport wounded soldiers to the facility has already been ordered. Oh, I see. Increased welfare funding, affordable homing initiative. Damn, look at us. Commission a massive media campaign to improve Rizia's standing. This will bring us to exceptional and will help with the inevitably takes back to average. I see. Our public transportation system is facing a severe decline in on-time performance, with quality stagnating across rail, land, and sea services. Certain lines have ceased operation due to the organizational challenges, causing inconvenience and dissatisfaction among the populace. It's not too late to catch up. Overcrowded public transportation, bad living standards apparently. Full military equipment stockpile. Functioning transportation system. Bad living standards. Overcrowded public transportation. Neutral Daenerys community. Interesting. Interesting, I say. Whoa, that's a lot of exclamation points. Religious sanctuaries completion celebrated. Oh. Our nation rejoices as the restoration of the Plavo Sanctuary and the expansion of the Salabas Grand Sanctuary reach completion. These projects are not just architectural feats, but beacons of faith for the Rushist and Daenerys communities alike. Their completion marks a significant step in nurturing the Neridi faith and promises to elevate the happiness of our religious citizens. All our people will be enlightened by my divine rule. This is a place for all branches of Neridi and Rizia. The desecration of the sanctuary and Nelsavar. Oh. Denounce and call for unity. A group of atheist radicals has vandalized a sacred Rushist sanctuary, destroying relics and defiling its walls with anti-religious slogans. The clergy call for protection of religious sites and justice for those responsible, even as protests continue to grow. Denounce the act and call for unity. Respond to the printing scandal. A controversial printing house has released pamphlets critiquing the strict teachings of Das Neridi, sparking outrage among the clergy. Protests are growing, with demands to shut down the operation and confiscate the blasphemous material. Printing scandal will happen to find them for +1 budget. That's funny. Find the printing house. Get fucking fined, brother. Order maintained through fair action. In response to the recent unrest, the Crown has issued a financial penalty against the printing house responsible for the inflammatory pamphlets. Officials stated that while freedom of expression remains protected, deliberate provocation against sacred traditions must have consequences. The decision has welcomed by many as a balanced and lawful step towards restoring calm. Interesting. There's France. I cannot wait to just sit here for the next half a year for Torpor to finally finish another DLC for Suzerain, and it's just going to be France. Charity football match. What about you? Global media campaign proposal. Yeah. We want a massive media campaign proposal. The kingdom faces a strategic opportunity to enhance its global standing through a significant media campaign centered in Constantium. Kairut, known for being the hub of diplomatic activity and international lobbying, this initiative aims to positively transform Rizia's international perception, leveraging its location amidst the world's embassies and influential lobbies. That's a massive media campaign. Of course, Monteclar. King Ramus, the man who's changing Rizia. Much progress has been made under King Ramus, a definitive step from his father, Valero the Frail. While he's only been on the throne for a few years now, we at Geopolitico are certain the Golden Kingdom will continue to make great strides forward under his watchful leadership. At the current rate, Rizia is on its way to become a true example for monarchies worldwide, and could even convince the hardest Republicans that living under a king must not always be a bad thing. Down with the crest, up with the tribe banner, folks. Any tricolors in chat? A charity football match, you say? Score a goal at the charity football match. My motorcade pulled up to the VIP entrance of the royal grounds of Monteclar, an unmarked blue door tucked discreetly around the corner from the main gates. Today's match was a friendly one, taking place outside the regular championship season. Its purpose was to raise awareness for polio vaccination. Still, it was between Real Monteclar and FC Port Trezon, the fiercest rivalry in Rizian football, so both spirits and tensions were high. As usual, Real Monteclar was the hands-down favorite to win, but both they and FC Port Trezon have been playing exceptionally well this past season. Only Titus was accompanying me today. Mother and Pabel were presiding over a luncheon for lesser Rumburgian dignitary in Port Trezon. Hugo declined to attend out of solidarity for his favorite team, Royal FC Valenquer. As for Vina, she departed for Pales a week ago. The Herald had published impressive-looking photos of her welcoming ceremony at Castle Reinhardt. We were welcomed at the entrance by the team's representatives and the head of stadium security. After a round of introductions, they ushered us through a series of back passages towards the Royal Tribune. Which team are you pulling for, Captain? Titus nearly stopped in his tracks. FC Port Trezon, of course, Your Majesty. I used to dream about playing for them before I found my calling in the boxing ring. Our boys have got this. Loyalty, integrity, FCPD. Titus mouthed the slogan as I spoke it. Nobody messes with the capital. What am I implying with the tricolor? There are Republicans among us. There are Republicans among my theocratic nation. I am attempting to pull the Republicans out of chat so I may hang them all for being traitors to the crown. There'll be no democracy in this house. We emerged into the daylight as the Rizian national anthem blared from the stadium speakers, announcing the king's entrance. Once my eyes adjusted, I saw that the stands were packed top to bottom with thousands of football fans. All of them were on their feet, applauding. Make a Ruchist hand sign. I waved my hand in the air 6 times to represent the 6 pillars of Ruchism. The cheers grew louder. Most of the guests in the tribune were House Cesaro nobles clad in real Monteclar's blue and yellow. I spotted Lucita front and center next to a frail, hunched-over man in a wheelchair. It took me a moment to realize that was her father, General Tadeus. Just as our eyes met, I was whisked away to my own seat a few rows above them. A stadium attendant rushed to bring me refreshments. The facilities here were a little outdated, but the historic atmosphere couldn't be beat. As I took in the view, I noticed a red-haired figure weaving his way towards me. Let's see now. Row 5, seat 2, 3. Here we are. Best seat in the house. Rusty Montaro bowed hurriedly before lowering himself into the seat beside mine. A pleasure to see you again, Mr. Montaro. What brings you here? Oh, excuse me. Same thing as you, Your Majesty. I'm here to watch some football. A bell rang to signal the start of the ceremonies. The spotlight shone onto the center of the field, where one of Rizia's leading polio scientists made an introductory speech. Toward the end of it, she spoke glowingly of the research potential of the soon-to-be completed Ramos Torres Hospital. I rose from my seat to receive the crowd's applause. She concluded with a sincere expression of gratitude for the philanthropist who donated a record sum ahead of today's match, Rossello Montaro, via his Heart of Gold Foundation. Hello, Marion. Marion. What up? Rusty politely stood up as the stadium's clapping intensified. Well done, Mr. Montaro. Lives will be saved due to your generosity. Not the life that mattered most to me. I have had a little girl, Giulia. She caught the summer plague back in the 30s. Didn't live to see her first birthday. She'd be just about Princess Vina's age now. He wiped his eyes. I can't imagine your pain. If anything happened to Vina, I don't know what I'd do. I made a lot of enemies in my life, but losing a child, I wouldn't wish it on any of them. You know who's really been making breakthroughs and researching this thing? The brainiacs at Hardcard University, Arcasia. Our conversation was interrupted by a second announcement, this time from a provincial councillor imploring the audience to vote for the RNC in the upcoming election. See, if Rizia paid as much attention to science as we did to this election hullabaloo, our parliament is a distraction from what really matters. I've seen it in action. Not exactly a brain trust over there. Over the stadium loudspeakers, a commentator began reciting some statistics about the past season. Oh, my mouse just flew to the other side of my other monitor. Kickoff was still 15 minutes away, so regarding the RRG, the new mining regulations have been every bit as fiddly as I feared. We're practically bleeding cash. Promise Rusty a future seat on the Rizian government. If your workers are happier, it'll be worth every penny in the long run. Sure. On the bright side, we're set to make a good chunk of change from Callus, and we've still got our MITS royalties to look forward to, if everything pans out. But it's the workers I'm afraid of. Don't want them picking up any more big ideas from the East. All they wanted was better conditions. Now that they've got them, I don't expect any more trouble. Hope you're right about that. As to the future of the crown and Rizian royal gold, our conversation was interrupted by a loud roar from the tribune. The Real Montecar players were jogging out into the field. In front of me, Lucita sprang to her feet. The pitch, our battlefield! Don't say anything. I didn't say anything. The other Azaras on the tribune completed the motto, our feet, our swords. As the team formed a line, Lucita animatedly paced back and forth, nearly knocking over her father's wheelchair as she did so. Whew, are you sure she's a duchess? The football pitch is the one place where a noble may carry on like a commoner. Ha! Great equalizer. He swiveled in his seat to face me. Now where were we? Ah, the future of our cooperation. They only have a ham-focused industry? What the hell? Oh, Arkham. I get it. Tell me, Your Majesty, how can we work together? Concerned about the growing strength of the reforms movement. I want your help neutralizing it. Aha, I hear you loud and clear. I gotta say, I don't see anything wrong with letting Cezanne's crew vent their spleens every once in a while. They can vent all they want, but it's the opposition, never the majority. Makes sense to me. If it's an RNC landslide you want, consider it a fait accompli. A couple of greased palms, some strategic ad placements, and the hod will be yours as mold as you see it. See fit. Plus, if it really comes down to it, I got friends in high places. He nodded towards the tribune door, where his Arcasian bodyguard Antoine was standing with his arms folded. Are you sure those friends won't stab me in the back when an opportune moment comes? Have no fear, that kind of instability is terrible for the market. You make sure Rizzi's investment environment stays hospitable, they won't give a damn who or what's in charge. Seems like we have an understanding then. We're on the way to one, he smiled. What I really want to know, Your Majesty, is what Rusty's place will be once the dust settles. He'd be a behind-the-scenes benefactor. Sounds like you have a position in mind. Well, now that you mention it, I was thinking something along the lines of, I don't know, Counselor of Treasury and Economy? That depends. What are your qualifications? Glad you asked. He puffed out his chest. Elder Werner, don't get me wrong, she's a fine dame, but to her, the numbers in her ledger are just that, numbers. Whereas me, those numbers are my livelihood. I know that for millions of Rizians, they could be the difference between eating dinner and going hungry. And to put it delicately, your treasure is getting on in years. I wager investors and trade partners would rather deal with someone like me than a holdover from the Liza era. Have I stepped on a bug today? I don't think so. You got thunder and lightning today, Soviet? Man, I missed the thunder and lightning. You don't get rainstorms up here in the Pacific Northwest like you used to down in like South Texas, man. The Gulf, I mean, if the Gulf Coast had one thing, it had a good lightning storm, man. Up here, there ain't nothing. You get 40 mile per hour wind though up here, which is crazy. You make a good argument, but council reappointments aren't for another few years. I'm a patient man. Your word's good enough for me. A whistle blew and the players from FC Portuzan began entering the stadium. The applause for them was much more subdued than for their rivals. Somewhere behind me, Titus let out a loud whoop of encouragement. Almost time, Your Majesty. What do you say? Are we doing this? Yes, if and when the time comes, I will name you Treasure. I like the sound of that very much. Hope you're ready for the Rizian National Coalition to sweep the polls. Hope you've been enjoying my loan, by the way. Remember, there's always more where that came from. Now back to what we're here for. On the pitch, the FC Portuzan players had finished lining up. The game was about to begin. An announcement came over the loudspeakers. Today's special guest, King Rhombus Taurus, was invited to kick off the game. Titus, get me onto the field. Rusty smiled approvingly as Titus helped me out of my seat. Go get him, Your Majesty. In the blink of an eye, my guard led me from the Royal Tribune down to the ground level. I took my place right between the two teams, Monteclar on my left and Portuzan on my right. The players stared at me in open awe that their king was standing so close to them. The referee blew his whistle. Score a goal for your team. Instead of passing the ball, I charged towards Real Monteclar's goal. The thousands of spectators in the stadium let out a collective gasp of excitement. No player dared to challenge me, only the goalkeeper stood between me and the net, his face white as a sheet. I drew my foot back for one final kick. Monteclar's goalie made only a weak effort to block my shot. The ball sailed in. The scoreboard flipped to show a 1-0 Portuzan. Up in the stands, I saw Lucita shake her head in disapproval. Titus approached and swiftly escorted me off the field. Very well done, Your Majesty. That must have been a dream come true for you. Just another one of my royal duties, nothing special about it. I went back to my seat to watch the rest of the game. Including my goal, it ended in a 2-1 victory for Portuzan. But the results didn't count. The proper season had yet to begin. That's funny. That's funny. Ah, yes, ah, yes. Deploy infantry to Vendonesium. Wow. Whoa, that's a big one. Exceptional global image. I know. I know, the king leads the FC Portuzan to victory. Indeed I did. Indeed I did, didn't I? We don't want to exile. Vendonesium requests expeditionary force in its civil war. Thoughts on the sun heating up? Is it getting hotter, Graham? Is that true? If so, I mean, that would be very surprising, because that thing has... I mean, yeah, I guess, over time. But that thing's got like a couple billion more years before we have to worry about something like that, right? The Confederacy now requests more direct military involvement from its Grace allies. The kingdom must decide whether to escalate its involvement by deploying troops. Sending a full division represents a significant commitment and could decisively tip the scales, but it also risks greater entanglement to the conflict. Alternatively, a volunteer brigade offers support without full-scale intervention. However, choosing not to send any forces could weaken Vendonesium's position and our influence in Grace. We will be deploying an infantry division. Grace nations commit support to Vendonesium. Grace announces an increase in support for the monarchist forces in Vendonesium as part of its efforts to uphold the principles of monarchic governance and promote regional stability. This action is intended to assist the royalist troops in restoring order amid the nation's ongoing civil conflict. Logistical aid, intelligence coordination, and diplomatic engagement form the foundations of Grace's support strategy. The organization reaffirms its steadfast solidarity with its allies in Vendonesium, emphasizing the importance of unity among the monarchic nations in addressing shared challenges and contributing to global stability. Kingdom of Rizia intervenes in Vendonesian civil war. By committing troops to the fight on the side of Vendonesian's besieged prince consort, Rizia has thrown itself into its first armed conflict since its invasion of Pales decades earlier. It remains to be seen whether or not the Rizian troops can turn the tide of war in favor of its traditional ally, with the situation becoming ever more dire for the Confederacy. At the very least, it signals Rizia's commitment to grace. Your hometown sure was warmer than usual since most of the trees were removed. Ooh, Graham! Oh, awful. Hey, Eric. When I had moved to South Texas in 2008, the wildflower pretty much owned the countryside. It was pretty much blue bonnets all the way down from San Antonio down to Corpus Christi. And you couldn't drive on the highway without squishing a bunch of bugs. The monarch butterfly migration every year was massive and beautiful. And then by the time that I left in 2024, you couldn't, I mean, it was harder to find a bug to run into on the highway. You know, all the wildflowers have been cut down because of suburban development, people mowing their lawns too much, you know, and the monarch butterfly migration just didn't happen anymore. It was actually one of the most tragic environmental, like, catastrophes I'd ever, like, witnessed in, like, a 20-year period in my life, dude. It was heartbreaking. Just the entire environment had, like, changed in, like, a 20-year period. Just completely crushed. It fucking made me sick to my stomach. Which is also a reason why I couldn't stick around in South Texas anymore. Because nobody down there gave a fuck about the environment. It pissed me off so much. You baked brownies well baked? Very good. The new neighbors cut them down? Big fucking surprise. Neighbors love cutting down fucking the environment. Hey Eric, what game is this? This is Suzerain, if you will. We've deployed our infantry division to the Vendonesian. Do not attack the Pelesian troops. Tell them you will suck them off. Let me look at the exile, though. Reports from Monteclar indicate that Arento Centeno, a Galcondist cleric, was forcibly removed from Arush's sanctuary after attempting to pray there. This incident has stirred unrest among Galcondist communities who are demanding recognition and assurances of fair treatment. Demonstrations have begun in Plavo and other towns. Ignore the unrest, send Golden Guard, support the Arushist stance, call for respect and harmony. Allow the protests to take place. Don't intervene in the tobacco market. It doesn't look like there's really a pick for this one, so I'm going to simply call for respect and harmony. Not sure if that's going to do anything. Crown urges peaceful dialogue. Yes, I do. How did you know? Meeting with the Royal Council. Rizian National Coalition makes gains in polls. Alright. I guess it is Texas. It is Texas, man. I walked into the council chambers. The councilors were already seated and waiting for me. As Titus closed the door behind us, the council members all stood and bowed in respect. Councilors, Your Majesty, before we begin in earnest, we must acknowledge the results of the recent House of Delegates election. Hugo smiled confidently. As usual, the RNC secured the majority of seats. No significant gains were made, but no losses either. By unanimous vote, Daria Durava has retained the position of House Speaker. Brilliant. Still respects the authority of their monarch and their supporters. Indeed, Your Majesty. Thank you for the update. In other news, he gestured to Elena. Miss Warner has some important reports to share about our current energy situation. I'll let her speak. Thank you, Your Grace. I will start with an overview of our energy situation. Luckily, we are still producing enough energy to meet our demands and stay above the balance. She placed a stack of papers on the table. Based on our current deals and promises, including our projected energy production, we will be able to meet the demand of our industries if our current projects succeed. Thank you, Miss Warner. Of course, Your Majesty. She bowed in respect. We also have some news from Mr. Esquivel regarding Pales and the Arias gas field. According to Princess Venus' latest communication, the date to finalize our purchase of rights to Arias has been set. We'll be meeting with Duke Reinhardt in 2 months. Our Peletian counterparts are very pleased with the outcome of our meetings with Her Highness and are looking forward to making the deal official. I must congratulate you again, Your Majesty, for brokering this purchase. We've secured Rizia's energy future and improved relations with Pales in one fell swoop. Thank you, Mr. Squeeble, for helping us stay on the path of peace. For me, it's the only option. Lucita's arms were folded. She hadn't spoke up in a while. If there are no other comments, let's move on. That was the extent of the news from my side. I believe it's time to wrap this up. Hello, Kai. Don't want to go to school tomorrow? Ah, sorry to hear that, man. It do be like that. I left the chamber. I walked to the royal quarters of the palace. Oh, that's it? And then I guess we're getting attacked. Kairu, congratulations, Rizia, on successful elections. Thank you. Message from my sister-in-law. Dear Ramus, on behalf of the Kingdom of Rumburg, I'd like to extend my official congratulations with the victory of the RNC in your elections. It warms my heart to see how much your people support you. Don't I know it? Low territorial integrity is crazy. Mixed global image? You think so? Oh, we did take a big hit, didn't we? Business as usual as the RNC confirms popular support, and Schmolak condemns Arcasian soldiers in Lesbia. I agree. Rocklowitz, Wayland. Wejek's President Victor Schmolak on Thursday criticized the Lesbian government for bringing Arcasian soldiers close to the borders of Wayland. Last month, Prime Minister Alvarez and President Walker agreed on the construction of several military bases in Lesbia that would station ATO soldiers with the arrival of the first Arcasian soldiers to Lesbia this week. Wayland's stance has become increasingly hostile. In this speech on Thursday, Schmolak said President Walker has succeeded in spreading Arcasian imperialism to eastern Mercopa, which will have consequences for every one of us in the region. ATO is clearly expanding its influence in our region using Lesbia. We must be careful, said President Schmolak, warning the neighboring nations of Ignolia and Swordland to be prepared for a future crisis. Oof. Anton Rain congratulates the RNC, triumph of stability and order. Mr. Rain is president. Mr. Rain? That. Lesbia? What a curious name. I agree. Unfriendly, overwhelming military power. Late night at the palace. Do not attack the Peletian troops. Tell them you will meet with Axel. Be very diplomatic with Axel. Release his troops. This is important. Keep saying that your reports might be wrong, that you smell inside job. Tell them that you need unbiased approach to this. Do not blame Lesbia or any foreign peoples. Just ask for a solution, and he will suggest international investigation. Agree to that. I was woken up in the middle of the night by the Golden Guard. Due to the sensitivity of the information, I had to urgently be briefed in person. As the king, I knew such a summons could only mean dire news. I put on my clothes and followed Titus through the corridors of my palace. On our way to the chambers, we spoke no words to each other. When we arrived at the doors to the council chambers, Uncle Hugo greeted me. He tugged my arm, leaned in, and whispered, Your Majesty, I'm afraid we'll be facing our biggest crisis yet. I must stress, this is the time everybody needs a calm, resilient leadership. He took a long look at me and my clothes that I'd rushed to put on. Your butler couldn't be summoned in time, I take it. He put his hand on my shoulder. Make sure you're ready. I'm sure you'll do the right thing. I always am. I'm always ready, Uncle. I'm glad to hear that. He opened the doors for us, and we entered the scene of barely restrained chaos. Counselors were already gathered inside, their faces etched with lines of worry. Upon my entrance, they all stood up immediately. Lucita approached me with a calm demeanor that contrasted with the anxious atmosphere inside. She bowed and spoke. Your Majesty, we have an emergency to report. About an hour ago, we received grave news, to put it mildly. A very serious incident at our southern border with Pales has unfolded. May the divine God protect us. I wish there was another way to put this. The Grand Duchy of Pales has committed an act of war. Gesture for her to I stayed silent and gestured for her to continue. This is what we know so far. Approximately an hour ago, a violent exchange erupted between our soldiers and Peletian forces at our border near Fort Ailes. She pointed at the map showing the border between Rizia and Pales. I waited for her to continue. During the brief firefight, the Peletians managed to cross our border at the Alka River. It appears they made a bold, bloody incursion. They've crossed the river and taken refuge in Navarre Castle. The Palais? Yes, Navarre Castle is one of the most well-preserved Resident-era palaces outside of Pales. It's on a small islet on the river Alca, directly at our border. And the casualties? 6 of our soldiers, Your Majesty. May the Divines embrace upon them as they return to the source of all creation. Halaita. Hugo sighed heavily. There is something incredibly shady about this, the timing and how the incident took place. I agree, we need more details. It is too early to be certain about anything. We're currently relying on the parliamentary news we've received. According to one onlooker, the first shot was fired from our side directly from the palisades. But I find it hard to believe that. Make mustard gas and let it out in the veneration? Halaita. However, the report of the commanding officer implicitly states they were attacked while they were on patrol duty. The squad on duty was forced to fall back. As a result, the Pelesians managed to enter the castle. The commander reported they have surrounded them, but waiting for the order to take any actions. Laurento looked at her skeptically. We cannot act so hastily with the princesses and Pales. Mr. Skeeple, what's your opinion on this incident? Your Majesty, it's perplexing. The Pelesians gained nothing by occupying an old castle within our borders, especially considering our cooperation. Someone's trying to sabotage our deal. I think that much is clear. And I agree. What if it's a false flag? This could be exactly what they were trying to make us think. I agree. Pales has long been unfriendly towards us and coveted our lands. They wouldn't want to give away their rights to areas so easily. This is a blunt show of force, a test of our resolve, right before the signing of our energy deal. What if it's an inside job? Someone who knows our patrols, our weaknesses at the border. This is a possibility we must seriously consider, Your Majesty. Lucita gave him a furious stare. What are you implying about our intelligence, Mr. Esquipel, with the loyalty of our military officers? She shook her head. I didn't want to believe this, but could it be that Axel Reinhardt never wanted peace with Rizia in the first place? Was the entire sale of the gas field a charade? If that's true, then we fell right into the hands by delivering Vina to Pales. I'm afraid that's the most likely scenario. There is also the possibility that the true provocateur was someone else entirely, an external party who doesn't want us to sign the deal with Pales. Lesbia would certainly fit that bill. The chamber fell into its restless silence. The theory was as plausible as it was terrifying. I looked upon my council, a tableau of concern, ambition, and fear. We must not leap to the drumbeat of war, nor to conclusions. We cannot afford to be hasty while Vina is in their hands. We will not act until I talk to the Duke myself and demand an explanation. The councillors fell silent, a questioning look on their faces. Understood, Your Majesty, but let us not delay. Every moment we ponder, Pales grows bolder. I agree with your decision, Your Majesty. We have to be calm if we want to find out the truth and reach an understanding with Pales. Our enemies will see hesitation as weakness. If we don't show them there are repercussions for their actions, this will only embolden them. I believe His Majesty has already made his decision. The councillors fell silent. Thank you. Dismissed. The councillors bowed in respect and left the room. Ooh, a little tense, isn't it? A little tense. It's a little tense on the battlefield. Fort Ailes, there it is. Fort Ailes. Oh god, Pales attacked Rizia, but how to respond? The blatant Pelesian incursion into Rizian territory promised a strong response from our king. Question, however, is how strong should it be? Is now the time to complete what the late Valero couldn't do and return Pales to Rizian control? Should the ongoing negotiations surrounding the gas field allowed to be continued? The latter seems very difficult given Pales' recent act of aggression, but we as a nation will stand with our King Ramas, whatever he might decide. King Ramas traveling to Pales. Following the blatant Pelesian attack on Rizian assets, King Ramas has decided to travel to Pales, showing Rizia's commitment to international diplomacy. There, he's expected to sternly talk to the Grand Duke, making clear